first game in the Champions Chess Tour, in the Skilling Open. It has actually started, David.
That's right, it has started, and there we see a very mysterious Jan Nepomniachtchi on the left against Magnus Carlsen, who's deep in thought. And we have seen the Spanish opening, which is, I think both of them have been playing their whole careers. There will be a lot of moves, a bit of a flurry here at the beginning. Magnus Carlsen's actually chosen one of my own favourite variations that I play a lot, especially on speed chess online. Yeah, if the bar points towards the left, normally that means that the player with the white pieces is doing quite well. It means either they have a big advantage in the position, or they have maybe extra material, they're points ahead, they've got extra pieces. This is a very traditional opening. I think when the bar calms down, I think we will see that this is supposed to be quite a good position for white. It has a very good reputation for white. Magnus maybe provoking his opponent.
Position then?
Usually it would be the side with more pawns in the centre of the board. So here, white has this pawn right in the centre, just a couple of squares in front of his king. But the fight is, I mean, it's still early days. We have seen that black has traded off a bishop for a knight, which is quite a controversial trade. Bishops and knights, they normally have roughly the same value.
Well, we have some action, actually, yes, David, because we have the queen has come out to attack the pawn. It's sniffing around for danger.
Over here as well, but that bishop is defended by a white knight. So it's a very brave move, bringing the queen out too early, and we have seen that pawn has advanced, so it is no longer threatened. It is defended on this square. Have decided what to do with their king. So
we've seen a few more trades, David.
Yes, more trades, more action.
Wow.
And here we see white bring the queen out early in the game as well. So both players, I mean, this is quite traditional stuff, I guess. I've had something very similar to this before.
Time to get some space, because space is amazing. Ooh.
Oh, what's happening?
Yeah, there was Magnus set a trap. That's how he likes to play chess nowadays. He likes to set these small tricks for his opponent. If we maybe just briefly jump in to the analysis board, we do see that a couple of moves, very naughty moves by Magnus. I mean, in this position, he's just jumped forward with his knight to the centre of the board. Knights are very good in the centre of the board. They control lots and lots of squares, but he had a sneaky threat to jump into this square, and that we would call that a fork, attacking the white king and attacking the queen, a double attack, and black would have won a queen. So white did stop that.
I think he would be a bit baffled, to be honest, because this is a really...
That's a great British word, baffled.
Well, I think so, you know, because this is a kind of position where it's completely unorthodox. No one's seen this before.
He's one of the quickest players on the tour. He trusts his instincts more than anyone. I mean, he knows... I mean, he's been supremely talented from a young age, we mentioned. He believes in himself, and I think he's going to try and put Magnus Carlsen under pressure on the clock early on, and we see... Under the names there, white already has a minute or so advantage. Yeah, we see Magnus's face as well. I don't think he's too happy with this position. He's one of the few players without a poker face on the chess tour, and he doesn't look too happy at all. Maybe if we bring the board up as well, Magnus has just castled with his king, which is a move that all of us try to do early in the game, if we can. Black's last move was to swap his king and rook over. The king goes 2 squares, and the rook jumps over it. And this, and there we see Jan Nepomniachtchi castle on the other side of the board.
Oh, OK. This is war, Kaya.
Wow.
This is war. When that happens, that means that both sides are now going to start advancing their pawns all the way up the board, and they want to attack each other like crazy. So it's red hot excitement here. When a knight is on the edge, it falls off the hedge. It's not very good.
Octo knight. I'm going to be fancy and show off all the 8 squares here. Always keep your knight in the centre of the board, everyone. At the moment, it says 1.4 in white's favour. That just normally means he has a nice position at the moment, but that could all change. I mean, one clumsy move, one slip-up could see the bar swinging the whole other way.
And we do have some quick moves here now. What's happening?
Giri and now Levon Aronian, the best of luck. And do tweet us on the hashtag #ChessChamps. Tell us who you're cheering for. Who do you think who's going to win? And who does your heart cry out to win?
Well, and there we see a tweet from Hikaru Nakamura himself, back to work. He loves chess. Chess is not work for him. But it's great to see the players tweeting as well.
Yes. Magnus has made a move, and now Jan Nepomniachtchi has made a move. What's happening, David?
That's right. So Magnus Carlsen attacked white's bishop. That bishop has now retreated.
To come and push those pawns on the queen side forward. Yeah.
I think... Yes, it's as if they've read your mind, Ivanka. We've seen a couple more moves. Well, a big attack and lots of nerves a bit later on in the game. So the queen side will be the left-hand side of the board, so where the white king is sitting now. If we imagine the board splits in half, the four files, the four lines on the right-hand side of the board would be the king side, the right-hand side, and the queen side.
But back to the board, David, because Magnus Carlsen has given away one of his pawns, and he's done this in order to open up one line for that rook. When you're attacking, opening up lines, it's a currency. You want to open as many lines as possible against that white king.
So the knight could get traded off here, but more importantly, this line is open for the black rook towards the white king. We could see a check. Oh, yeah, the knights have been exchanged. Actually, here, the knights have come off the board, and now Magnus Carlsen will be thinking about whether to drop this check on white. It's almost checkmate early on.
Almost.
Almost checkmate, but the king does have one safe square to run to. This is stressful stuff, and it's amazing. Jan Nepomniachtchi is now 3 minutes ahead of Magnus on the clock. Magnus there frowning, trying to figure out what to do, how to get at that white king. It looks like his attack is quicker, but he has sacrificed a pawn, so he is a pawn down. That's a big...
Oh, and we have Jan Nepomniachtchi's picture.
As if by magic.
Wow. Okay, let's try to judge his face expression here. Is he looking satisfied, happy? What do you think, Ivanka?
He's looking very calm, actually. A little bit too calm. OK.
Very calm, actually.
He's another one without a poker face. I think we can tell.
Until he removed his hand away, and then I thought, well, maybe not. He looks like he's slightly concerned with the position. We have a very committal move, very surprising. I did not expect that at all from Magnus Carlsen. He has just moved his pawn that is on the right-hand side of the board forward. I would not have predicted that, never in a million.
No, that's right. I wouldn't either, Ivanka. I mean, normally we're taught not to push pawns forward in front of our own king.
Magnus has been thinking for almost 2 minutes now on this move. Oh, there, he made a move.
And he keeps surprising, doesn't he?
We haven't guessed any of his moves, I think, today, Ivanka. There we see Magnus has swung his rook across a couple of squares, eyeing up one of white's pawns on that right-hand side of the board. That pawn is unprotected right now. It's not defended. Work makes the dream work. Those rooks need to be connected. There's rooks.
Quote David Howell.
I'm all about the cheesy one-liners, guys. And yeah, we have seen a move by Jan Nepomniachtchi. He has pushed his pawn forward. So maybe if we just bring up the board briefly, we show that that's a very clever move.
Actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only one. And they've worked together in the past, and they've studied chess together. Jan Nepomniachtchi, he's helped Magnus prepare for tournaments. So I think that just shows Magnus has a huge amount of respect. We see the bar swinging slightly. I think that's just the computer kind of gauging, trying to understand the position.
We have some extra moves. So we can see Magnus put his rook, move it up 2 squares, and the king finally moved into the hiding hole.
I think that's a big indicator that things might have gone a bit wrong for Magnus.
And Nepomniachtchi moving them so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And Magnus has brought his rook back to a square it was on just a few moves ago. So Magnus maybe a bit indecisive here.
Oh, what happened to the bar?
Ooh, the bar, it's edging towards that left side ever further. I think white's position is fantastic here. Wow. Quick games. I mean, these early rounds, I think players will just be sussing each other out. They don't want to take too many risks. They can't qualify for those knockout stages this early on, but if they lose a few games, they could, they could definitely be out of. We do actually see in the game, black has checked the opponent's king. If we bring up the board, we can show that black here, he's brought his queen forward, his last move. That is a check along the diagonal. That's a bit of a scary one to face. And here, white will be thinking, one move he doesn't want to play is he doesn't want to play his king back, because this would allow a checkmate in one move.
Oh, he did move his pawn.
And he did, therefore, block instead.
There was a lot of danger with that check, David.
A lot of danger. But Jan Nepomniachtchi, he's good enough. He doesn't, he won't fall into those checkmates. Yeah, lots more for Magnus to think about. He's retreating with his rook. Feels like maybe he's a bit nervous. Maybe he's not in the zone right now. He's brought his rook forward, then he's had to retreat it a couple of moves later.
It does seem a little bit there's too much dancing going on and not enough planning. That's how you want your rooks, ready for action.
And Magnus, once again, it seems retreating his queen, or does he have a plan with this to bring her out on another side?
Yeah, I think Ivanka was about to mention quite a cool motif that might appear on the board. We could see something called Alekhine's gun, which would be if all the major pieces stacked up on the same file, so all be ganging up against white's pawn here in the centre. So, and there we see...
Oh, that was unexpected, because instead of defending this pawn in the centre, Magnus has gone for a counter-attack. He wants that pawn on the right-hand side of the board that's close to that king.
Yeah, that's right. Loose pawns drop off, and...
Oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, and Magnus, it's just Magnus just giving it away.
Wow. Magnus has allowed, so his last move has been to push the pawn forward. He is attacking the rook, so the rook will run away. But now White has a huge choice.
Have we seen a blunder?
Ooh.
Because the bar is actually saying that this is a win for Magnus.
Just gone.
Is Magnus now suddenly winning this?
Yes.
I think his last move might have been a genius stroke.
I think so.
There's a nasty little idea here. Black wants to bring... He's just cleared the way for his queen to jump over to the queen's side and maybe come and check this king. Wow, I did not see that one coming. It looks like Black's just setting up this threat against the rook. But, for example, if White were to take this pawn, it looks like a free pawn. Black would swing his queen across, and maybe this is going to be checkmate. Black's queen could come and check the king on 2 squares. And, wow, I mean, I'd love to see the player cameras maybe right now to see whether Jan Nepomniachtchi, he might be shaking his head. Turn around in 2 moves. I mean, this is crazy. This is the beauty of chess. Everything can change. Maybe I'd love to see whether Nepomniachtchi is shaking his head here.
No, he looks...
He looks quite calm still, but I would be panicking. I would be panicking. Now we see Magnus has pushed...
Oh! Did you see that look on his face?
Oh, no, he's
It was
realised...
a bit like, rub your eyes. Oh, no.
He was in control for so long.
Yeah, just to clear pawn up, and he didn't take care of the king, Kaya.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, but we see the bar now swinging back and forth. The computer's simply having a very hard time.
Computer's confused just as much as Jan Nepomniachtchi as well, I think. The game isn't over yet, so if we bring up the board to show Magnus his idea is to play maybe a queen check in this position. There's a huge check on this square right next to the white king right now. This would be attacking White's king. White's king is, well, in mortal danger now, I think.
Yeah.
For sure, we will see this check. You don't want the enemy queen next to the king.
Next to your king. And it has appeared on the board.
We have seen a check.
Queen checks the king. The king has to run. There's no choice about it. He just has to skedaddle out of there.
And he did that right away.
Yeah.
He did that right away, but Black is spoiled for choice now. Black could give another check with his queen, attacking the white king. Black could also capture in the centre of the board to try and distract the white forces. I mean, Magnus is frowning slightly. Maybe, yes. So he has given a check.
And he's won back that pawn.
Yes.
And still that white king is in mortal danger. Look at it. Out there in the open. It's got a lot of pieces next to it. Can he...
True, White does have a lot of defending pieces, but when their queens are still on the board, I think a king out in the open should not survive too long.
What's happening?
Oh, no. Surely not.
Is that... No, I'm just...
Oh, my...
We've seen a mouse slip, Kaya.
No!
Magnus Carlsen has...
Is it true?
Yes.
He's dropped his queen on the wrong square, and we see the results just popped up.
Oh, we need to see the
need to see
picture
the
of Magnus
cameras.
now. Look at his face. Magnus realizes he's had a mouse slip. He simply put the piece on a different square than what he meant to. And you see also Jan Nepomniachtchi. Actually, seems like he's feeling sorry for Magnus.
This is one of those things
Speechless.
that is in the lap of the internet gods. It's just one of those things that happens. You pick up the queen in Magnus's case and you put it in the wrong square, and it's devastating. But you just have to accept. You win some, you lose some.
This must feel devastating to Magnus Carlsen. He was actually winning this game in fantastic fashion, and now...
where it could be taken by the white pawn or the white rook. And, yeah, I think Jan Nepomniachtchi, I mean, of course, he'll take the win, but he doesn't want to win like that. And Magnus, it's extra harsh because he has a winning position, I think.
And judging by the pictures that we see of these players now, how are they feeling?
I mean...
Well, you can just see it. You can just see it in Magnus's face. He is angry. And this is one of the things with online chess. All the emotions are intensified when you make a mistake such as this, because it really isn't quite your fault. You would never make this kind of mistake over the board, but it's something that happens in online chess, and it makes you angry. At the same time, when you win a game, you can actually see the hidden elation in Nepomniachtchi. He escaped with it. He got away with it.